How's it going today, guys? This is not the video I was expecting to make today. I was planning on scripting out a documentary I'm working on, but some crazy developments have happened. It turns out that apparently an FBI agent has visited Nova online, started questioning him about the infamous list. You guys know, the list that Nova Online made like a month ago, where he listed down all of his least favorite content creators, such as myself, Smokey, Kiwi, Saturated, Bloodspeth, Mayor Menace, all of the good ones. He's like, I hate each and every one of you. You guys are going down. I mean it this time. But the only person that is going down for it would be Nova Online himself, because all this list really ended up being was the Streisand effect to the absolute fullest. And sure enough, not only did it bring mass attention to every single creator on that list, but it also brought mass attention to the local PD. And Nova Online got a visit, and we don't really know, he hasn't told us about it himself on TikTok, but it looks like he was freaking out, or I should say, his neighbor said he was freaking plumb out about it. Because yes, you heard me right. It turns out that one of Nova Online's detractors is a neighbor. How are you doing, Nova Online's neighbor? Hope you're having a fantastic day. How much worse could this get? Every single week, something new drops. A new person is visiting Nova Online, whether it's a friend who's turning on him eventually, or literally the local police department, maybe the FBI. It's literally all going down. And guys, as you might know, today was the deadline for Jidion. So I don't know if Nova has done his convincing with Jidion. There's some text messages that got leaked, because of course there's even more leaks today that we're going to go over in just a little bit where he references it, but he doesn't even have very much confidence. So by all means, by tomorrow, the next day, it's like the SpongeBob meme, or the next day, or the next day, or the next day, Jidion could be there. We don't know, and neither does Nova. And you know what? I like the mystery that this is bringing. Everything is piling up, and you know what? It can only lead to one thing: a drastic downfall. Finally, some consequences for his actions. And you know what? I'm also speculating right now, because as you can see in this message, the neighbor is saying that he's under investigation for sure. I don't know if he has some more information that we don't, but the guy seems to be pretty confident that Nova is under a lot of scrutiny right now from the local police department. And it makes me wonder, is this just over the list? Because the list, let's be real here, does it look worrisome? If you're a local PD, yeah, it might look worrisome. But in all reality, we're like internet individuals who knows where we actually live. It could just be a bigger case, like another sign for what they're truly looking for. Some of the more degenerate, some of the more, I don't know, predator-like actions Nova has been doing in the past over and over and over again. And I shouldn't even say the past. He's probably doing it right now. We just don't have confirmation, but he probably is. It seems like every 3 or so months some leaks come out showing that he was, so I don't know. But, you know, we'll take that one with a grain of salt. But the guy thinks he's in a lot of trouble, and it just can't be because of the list. Like, I just can't believe it's only because of the list. And you know what's crazy? It's not even just the local PD who's starting to visit Nova. It's the fire department for some reason. I would imagine that the fire department is visiting because it's like a hazardous environment. They're informing them, hey, this place might catch on fire. We might have to condemn it. I don't really know. It's so odd that the fire department has visited there. If anyone here has more knowledge on why the fire department could be visiting, please leave a comment. I'm very curious. And think about this. It was so disgusting, so nasty in that environment that they had to wear masks. No wonder Nova Online is constantly getting sick. I mean, it doesn't take a rocket scientist for us to look at the room, look at his surroundings, and him never bathing or doing basically any kind of hygiene and say, yeah, Nova, this is what's making you sick. You know those odd little bumps you're getting all around your body? Well, but we can't confirm it, but it's like almost 100% this. You don't do anything, you don't really interact with other people, you're not spreading germs about. this is the most likely cause, along with poor diet. But Nova was just like, no, it's just the troll saying this about me, so I'm going to completely ignore it. No, it's not. It's not just trollish things people are mentioning. This is like genuine advice that you could have followed. Matter of fact, you could have watched the first video one you ever made and just dipped out, been like, you know what, this guy, whoever it was, whichever was the first content creator you watched, and been like, you know what, they're right. And you could have started improving your life, and none of this would have ever happened. But now you're getting visited by the local PD. Jidion, a known predator catcher, is possibly going to be visiting you. And we'll talk about this like right now. Nova, I was going through the Nova files, right? Because I was thinking, I wonder what actual crimes Nova has committed, like throughout these. Like, we know this could all be potential grooming and all of that, but I was like, wonder if we could just pin him on something. And as I was going through it, I realized that Nova was asking this person, who he knew wasn't the right age, to wear diapers the next time, telling them that he only age regresses with them and them only, singling them out. And I was like, hey, that's a pretty good case for grooming. And then the fool was directing them to a known fetish site, and I asked around, and everybody I asked told me, like, hey, when I visited this website, it immediately, you can see some very degenerate stuff that people below the age of 18 should not be seeing whatsoever. And these are the sites Nova was directing people towards. Like, there's a reason this FBI guy is out there, and it could get even worse if Jidion actually shows up to your doorstep. By all means, guys, there could be a new Nova video by tomorrow. By tomorrow. So that was all the leaks released by lolcow Chilla. Shout out to this guy. He's got some more information over on his Twitter. I'll try to remember to link it down below. But yeah, definitely go follow this dude, because there's some more stuff there. I just didn't think it was like super pertinent to what we was talking about today. But yes, there's even more leaks that I'm not even showing you guys right now. But it wouldn't be a Nova video if not only yesterday was there leaks, but this morning there are leaks as well. And while I'm recording this, guys, shout out to Solidus Nova, says that there could be even more leaks on the way. It's not even close to being over. What literally happened? Nova, we say it a lot throughout the videos, but Nova has literally successfully accomplished destroying his own life before the age of 25. A grandiose level of boneheaded decision making. Now, and let's think, what is Nova Online besides like a chome, a super pred, you know, besides all of those things? What is Nova Online? A known hated individual on the internet. So tell me why when someone DMs him, he immediately is like, cool, he's like, oh my gosh, I got a brand new best friend. So we'll read this one. This person just opens up like, why, hello, I still have to change my username. And Nova just immediately hits him with, I want to make something very clear, mister. And they're like, yeah, if I see any of our DMs been leaked, you're being blocked, buddy. And I wonder how that ended up, Nova. Here we are today. So many times, so many of these messages open up with Nova just like casually calling out, hey, don't leak or do anything with these messages, and the person's like, oh no, it'll never happen. And it's just so funny that like I'm sitting here reading them eventually, and you guys are listening, and who knows who else is making a video on this. And Nova's like, hey, especially with fake stuff running around, my mortal enemy, my only IRL friend, even betrayed me and leaked everything to him. It's like, you can't catch a break, can you, Nova? It just happens to you all the time. And I guess this Boki person was one of the first people to get the information that Nova was going to be making a Predicord line, and that he should have known they're a troll right away, because like, really? That's cool. Nobody would have thought this is a great idea. And Nova's sitting here talking about it right now like he believes it's a fantastic idea. Like, dude, can you believe I actually thought of this? I decided to take the little money I had to buy an iPhone 13 mini off of eBay, and then I'm basically never going to use it again. The literal Chris Chan arrest video. Yeah, I referenced it last time, but as people pointed out, no, that's legitimately what it is, because he now has 2 phones. And just look at how annoying Nova Online is. Even in text-based, He is insufferable. This is 9 o'clock in the morning, and they're asking Nova, hey, what's your plans for today? Nova's like, I got some orders to fill, things of that nature, and just all of a sudden, Nova goes, I have a question for you. Can I get a French onion soup, please? Like, tell me he doesn't love this without telling me he doesn't love this. I know it's the only meme that Nova can use because, like, it's not as degrading towards him. And he's like, I guess it's, like, only kind of embarrassing. Can I get a French onion soup, please? And hopes that people laugh along with him. But you know what's really confusing to me about it all? If people know that meme, right? They're probably not laughing with Nova, they're probably laughing at him with it because it is pretty funny. It's a little ridiculous. I think it's just funny that Nova would just happen to be on there, right? But still yet, you would have to know that a majority of the people watching that probably don't like you very much. So you bringing that up and getting like a reaction out of them should be concerning. Not like, isn't this so funny what I did? Already, as we mentioned earlier with the prank phone calls and the things of that nature, I started my Predicord hotline, and who would have guessed 2 trolls right off the rip? I mean, guys, we know it's going to get a lot worse. But that's not even the biggest concern of Nova's. He's just like, wow, can you believe these 2 people were referencing my PH account? And read how Nova words this. Some trolls found my account. And the person asks, oh, that was actually you posting? And he's like, well, it was me, and I didn't promote it due to my audience. I'm ashamed to admit it. Then why did you do it in the first place? You knew somebody was going to find it, unless it was for your own little sick pleasures. I don't know, Nova. To have people comment on you. I've heard people who have talked to Nova say that he was doing it for some kind of a monetary benefit. Even though you would think OF would be the way to go, but I've also heard they will not verify him. They do not believe he's over the age of 18, and how ironic is that? But apparently that's the reason he's on the PH. But if you're going to be ashamed of posting your body on any sort of platforms on the internet, you just don't do it. Body positivity, yeah. If you are going to mentally suffer from doing that kind of stuff just once, why would you even come close to thinking it's a good idea? Nova is a panicky person who freaks out easily. He's basically like Tweak from South Park without all the charm. And less coffee and more Discord, but they got similar attributes. And then listen to this. It's not like I was sharing it with anyone. I was just desperate for money. You guys know he earned nothing off of that video. Not a cent. And if you're going to be posting that and you're Nova online, people are going to find it. I don't know how they found it. I can't remember. I'm not interested in figuring out how they discovered it, but somebody did. Because of course they did, Nova. You personally get like 1 million+ views on you every single day from multiple different creators, multiple different TikToks. Somebody was going to find you, and you knew it. And I want you guys, so we've read a lot of Discord leaks from Nova online, and there's 2 things I want you to take away like as a common base for a Nova online conversation. He's always trying to make you feel sorry for himself. He's always doing like, I just hate everything about life, everything sucks, and I just want you to feel sorry for me. And then he'll ignore them for a couple of days, he's got his sympathy points, and he moves on. And another thing he likes to do is if Nova Online feels like he can be cool, like he can talk about things that, the cool kids talk about, Nova Online will bring it up every time. Because out of nowhere, he's like, listen, you want to hear something awesome? I had several people in that comment section asking if they wanted to, I was pretty excited about it. Nova Online thought about it. I was like, you know what? I might take a couple of those offers. Dang it, those trolls got the account taken down before he could figure out where they were. If only he could start another Discord, and that way he could have funneled them all in, but as you can see right here, just another Discord is just out of the question. Boki asks, are you ever going to have a new server? And Nova's like, no, absolutely not. It always goes to hell. It goes to a right every time. I just want to have close personal friends that I could talk to on the nightly, just really get a close relationship with you. And then here Nova starts doing this thing that he does in DMs, and I'm not sure why at all. I mean, he has this consistent behavior where he starts like DMing somebody, and very short into their relationship, he starts asking them if they want gifts from him. And like Nova, even a troll was going to accept gifts of like games and shit from you. Like, of course they are. But Nova, I think he sees it as like a token, like, hey, don't you betray me. If I offer this person money, maybe they will not betray me this time, and I can get a little bit closer to them. I can expose my degeneracy to them, and I think that's how he does it. And I mean, I can't confirm that, take it with a grain of salt, but it's just, we've seen this enough times, because he adds this Boki person on Discord, and then he hits him with, hey, check your Steam gifts. And he sends this game called Evergarden or Evergraden. I think they misspelled it. But he sends her about a $15 game. It's like a puzzle game, it seems like. I've never played it personally. It doesn't look very entertaining, not my kind of game, but probably other people like it. So Nova sends that to him. For some odd reason, Nova is always complaining about not actually having any money and, you know, almost getting kicked out by his mom. But no, let's just waste some money on a stranger who obviously doesn't like you from the get-go. I mean, we're reading these leaks for a reason. And irony has really been the theme of this video. Nova Online writing the list and getting a visit from the local PD, potentially a federal agent, which is just so mind-blowing to me right now that a few days ago, or I guess yesterday, that's at the time of recording this, agent was questioning Nova on myself and a bunch of my other peers, which is just hilarious, but you know, that's neither here or there at the moment. But we get even more irony when Nova is telling this person, I have spies in the troll servers. And I don't really know what servers he's talking about. Maybe there's some Discords floating around with like people who dislike Nova. Is there like a true crew like Discord with Nova? I have no idea. But apparently people are feeding him info. Don't know what info they could be feeding him, because anytime you ever see Nova trying to confront somebody in their comment section, it's, you're Gennaro Jackson, and 15 other of you are Gennaro Jackson. I'm really struggling to pinpoint it down, but one of you is, I know it. You know, he hasn't nailed it. I wonder if he was telling the police officer or federal agent just yesterday. He's like, listen, I know one of them is Gennaro Jackson, and you should be doing your job, buddy. You need to be figuring out the hard cases, not whether or not me and all the degeneracy I do in Nova Online is actually evil. That is ridiculous. And speaking of people visiting him, here's Nova talking about Jidion finally. We really didn't know much about what was going on with this, but she asks, or Boki asks, excuse me, are you going to follow through with Jidion? And Nova's like, I had to. I had no other option. My ass was on the line, and I was left with no choice. Sent him an email. I generally don't know what to do. And then the craziest part is, Nova says he seems to think everything is real. Some of it is. Well, what part of it is, Nova? Because I'm going to say a hefty chunk of it is legitimate. Almost 99.99%. But yeah, there's probably some misinformation out there every now and then. But no, he literally says it. He has no confidence in himself whatsoever. He knows he's cooked. He's like, but it's taken really out of context. Like, a lot of lies. I'm telling you, swear on everything. And then Boki's like, a question that everyone would ask for real, be like, Nova, what parts are real? And he's like, the ABDL stuff. You know, the stuff that's not illegal or really that degenerate, just more of a kink fetish kind of thing. Yeah, that's the one I swear is the truth. I swear on it. All the other stuff, nah, didn't happen. And Boki, another reasonable question. How are you gonna prove it to him though? And Nova's like, I have no clue. Could you imagine being innocent, right? Nova Online throughout a majority of the last year we've been talking, making videos on him. He has not had a job. He makes like 5-minute TikToks, and then he sits down and does like paracord bracelets every now and then, right? He literally has nothing to do but craft a brilliant web of ideas of how he could get himself out of this. But what Nova is so guilty and so lazy, he's just not even bothering. He's just like, listen, I have no idea. And that's crazy, because you would think some human preservation would come in somewhere along the line, but Nova is so lazy, he literally trumps survival instincts. It's insane. And just a little bit more to show how even Nova thinks he's super guilty, the person's like, hey, how'd it go with Jidion? And Nova's actually like, it went fine for the most part. He only really knew about the ABDL stuff. And the person's like, oh, that's good, right? Well, it did happen in an 18 plus server, so like the good thing is he only knows like the one legal thing you did. It seems like that's the one bit of information that he had, and you're just latching onto it and be like, whew, sweat off my brow. The dude actually had very little information, and I hope some of the stuff I was sending to Bloodspeth got sent to Jidion, because I think it might be a little bit of a different story after this. Maybe he just doesn't know about the ABDL stuff anymore, chome. And speaking of being confident in failure, this person, you know, I assume it's a troll, and they would probably at this point realizing they're probably going to betray Nova sometime soon, so they just started asking about things they wanted to know about, and they say, hey, why not go offline for a while? Very reasonable question. The white Bowser's return made me question if going offline actually helped or not. But, you know, I think it could lead to some improvements. And Nova says, well, if I had like a spare 5K, I immediately would, but I don't. So I gotta pay the bills, and they don't pay themselves. It's like you realize you can't work, Nova, right? I mean, you're not making $900 a month. I guarantee you, minimum wage at whatever in Idaho, you would probably be making over $900 a month, for sure. I don't doubt it, especially if you're working 40 hours a week, but forget that, that's difficult. So then he's like, so is there any place you can go besides your mom? And he's like, no, not really. If mom kicks me out, I'm most likely not gonna make it or end up in a psych ward. Just the lowest expectations for yourself of all time. Not even sure within a week that you could make it. Like, there is so much calories you could burn off. Like, there's no way Nova couldn't find water for 7 days. Like, there's absolutely no way. And like I say, man, you just go to jail, you know, if it's that difficult for you. Maybe the psych ward, but it's crazy that Nova has such little faith that he's like, yeah, it's game over if that happens. You know he guilt trips his mom with that. He's like, Mom, if you kick me out, I'm not gonna live much longer. You cannot do this to me. And she believes him, because he believes it himself. But that seems to be the end of the leaks, everybody. And I guess we'll just go ahead and end it right here. You know, this video has been absolutely insane. The developments that just happened in less than 24 hours. Hopefully I got some brand new news for you later today. But if something crazy happens, I'll for sure be here. But thank you guys so much. Make sure to go check out lolcow, Chilla, and Solidus Nova, link down below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, follow all the socials down below, use the new hype feature, leave a comment as well, and I'll catch you guys next time.